This is the Afro Perspective Podcast, the home of over-opinionated young voices.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Afro Perspective Podcast. My name is Tinashe and I am joined with my co-hosts, Aishina, alongside Zoya. And to my right, I've got Asha, Anton, and we are joined via Skype by Shanice all the way from London. So today on the agenda, we are going to be discussing relationships. So Asha, do you want to
reel up the agenda?
Yeah, just reel up the agenda.
Are women's expectations in relationships unrealistic? Black love and family structure. Is there enough representation of black couples in our society? How does masculinity and femininity have a bearing on relationship standards? What should the opposite sex do to improve and build a better relationship? Is cheating a good enough reason to break up when you have children with someone? Current affairs, reflecting on the Will and Jada situation regarding revelations by August Alsina. Can a guy cheat and still love his main woman and vice versa?
Who wants to get started then?
Okay, yeah, so who's going to take the lead on this one? I mean, by the way, we can we go through the agenda?
It doesn't have to be
just
all
random. Yeah, it doesn't have to be order.
So, okay.
Can we talk about what I want to talk about? Do you want to start with the August Alsina stuff?
Yeah, let's do that.
It doesn't matter because...
Let's get it out of the way.
Okay, yeah. All right, let's go.
Alright, so, from my understanding, basically, August Alsina has done an interview with Angela Yee and he's come out and he's basically talking about his relationship with Jada Pinkett and his involvement with the Smith family overall. Now, initially, from my perspective, I was like, why is this guy crying? You know, you got to be with... Yeah. You got to be with Jada Pinkett. You know, she's been bad from day, one of them ones. But then we started to look at it a little bit more deeper and realize that, it's actually a little bit more complicated. It's a little more deeper than that. She's technically, 30 years older than him? Something like that?
We Googled it. He's 27.
Mm-hmm.
He's 27 and she's 50.
Okay.
And we don't know how long they've been together for.
He said years.
So this is like...
2+ is years.
Yeah, true.
I looked on the Red Table discussion. So if you look at Red Table, there's a Red Table from like a year ago and he sat there comfortably at the table. And he's looking very healthy. The thing about, if you know about August Alsina, you'll see him go into like plateaus where he's not really looking after himself. So, this guy's cheeks are full, he's being fed, he's being looked after.
So is he not too good now then?
Yeah, but he's got a disease as well.
What's he got?
She's a bit low.
He's got a what, sorry?
A disease.
He's a sick person. Yeah,
Uh-oh.
He has a disease. I can't remember what it is, but he's actually a sick person and has interviews about his condition.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah.
That's changed the tone, isn't it?
Do you mean like a mental health?
Yeah. Mental or physically?
I think it could be even something autoimmune.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
Interesting.
Anyway.
Now we all feel sorry for him again.
Well, I don't not feel sorry for him now because we know that he's a very vulnerable person.
Yes.
I suppose the way of looking at it now is like, okay, let's reverse the roles for 1 minute. And let's say this was Will and, I don't know, some girl named Katrina. Yeah? And Katrina was a very vulnerable person, as we all know August is.
Everyone would shout out grooming.
What would they say about Will Smith?
It is kind of grooming.
It is grooming, regardless of which level it is.
It's grooming.
Exactly.
It's a level of grooming, but then again, it's hard to make that call when we don't know how old he was when this whole thing began.
Well, he wasn't a teenager, but
Let's say he was 20. Let's say he was 23.
Yeah, let's go with that.
That's still...
So can you groom a 23-year-old?
And that's the real question. Because she's taking advantage of him, sure. But can you call it grooming if the man's 23 years old? And there's some benefits out of this scenario. Let's not lie.
No, you can because she's older. So therefore she's got
a lot
experience.
Okay, go on.
Slightly manipulative because he's emotionally going to be a lot more immature. Let's be honest, men do...
And dependent.
Yeah,
Yep.
men do mature a little bit later emotionally than women. And the fact that she's so old and she's got him so young, and the fact that he's got those children as well, so he's kind of emotionally vulnerable because he's got his brother's kids. So I feel like she took advantage. I think Will and it's a weird situation.
So hold on. So question then: How big does the age gap need to be for you to say it's grooming? Because if she was a few years old, no, seriously though,
it's true.
It's not about the age gap though, because I mean you've got
that's kind of my issue.
You can groom somebody that's 5 years younger than you.
Okay.
I mean, grooming is more the
do with vulnerability.
it's to do with vulnerability.
So I'm not familiar with the whole thing. I've only heard about it since I come here. So what's the reason for her sleeping with him anyway?
They have an open
relationship.
An open relationship, right?
It's more.
But I want to know if
That's
they've
not
got an open marriage. Who Will's got then, or is this just Jade?
We don't know his situation yet.
Will's very neat.
Wait.
That's not.
We don't know what's going on.
Go on, Shanice.
Jada Pinkett runs teams.
Yes.
Facts. I agree 100%.
And the August Alsina fell in love with her, and she just kind of, for me, I feel like she was just like, listen, I got my husband, like, it's not that deep. But the child fell in love with her.
I can't hear when you are laughing.
Nah, she's got it.
Old enough to be your mum.
Pardon? Uh-oh.
No, she is old enough to be a mom, isn't she?
Yeah.
I'm just trying to.
She is, but you know, so you have them places where you can go and swing and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, isn't that the same thing?
They've come out and said that they're not swingers.
I think
Well, they kind of are. That's what it is, isn't it? Come on.
So, what's the difference between an open relationship and swingers?
I guess you're in the room while your woman is being touched.
So what, does he get turned on by watching a younger man sleep with his
We don't know that.
I don't know how deep
And
it goes.
how Jada puts it, she's like, I can be on this side of the house and you can be on that side of the house, but we are staying together. So guys,
It's open.
Yeah, so what she was saying is, once they decided to get married, they were not splitting up. So if I have to go and do my foolishness over there, and you have to go and do your foolishness over there, that's fine. We are under the same roof. That's the kind of way she's looking at it. So I'm not necessarily thinking that they're swingers.
Okay,
I'm just thinking that she's got her. August Alsina was her thing. The problem with August Alsina is I don't actually have an issue with it. I personally don't have an issue with the whole age scenario in that circumstance. He's a grown man. My issue is he was amazingly vulnerable at the time, so he's very easy to take advantage of.
And but then was taken advantage of.
At what point do you say somebody's meant to take responsibility for themselves?
So what kind of advantage do you think that this really nice looking woman with loads of money took? What kind of advantage?
What kind of
what kind
emotion?
I think that if you are in a position like that, you have to be careful not to make his mental scenario worse.
But she ain't a doctor, you get me? She just satisfying her needs.
That's not what I said.
Okay.
What did I say? I think she has a moral responsibility to ensure that she's not making the situation worse.
But do you think
does she know that having sex with, I mean, is it a thing turn up like that, you get me? Mad him up.
Do you think she had his mental well-being in her best interest?
He looked healthy in the house.
You're going back to this health thing.
In the house, what do you mean?
On the red table
Well,
talk.
obviously it came up, so I had a look, and I went through YouTube and I found the red table talking that he was on. I'm like, nah, these guys have been hiding in plain sight. There's a picture of them on the red carpet together.
Yeah, the one with Latifah behind.
Yeah, she's like, I know about you.
So I'm like, they weren't really hiding it if you look good, yeah, but obviously you just didn't know. Because you're saying, okay, there's a big age gap.
Okay, can somebody just can we go back to reality, please?
Okay.
Yeah. How does Will Smith? Yeah. I mean, look at Will Smith.
Yeah.
No,
Go on.
I'm not saying he's all that.
Finish it.
How does Will Smith give his wife the blessing to?
First of all,
listen.
what do you mean about give?
Do you know how long?
He gave him the blessing. Innit?
How long have they been married for? Do they even have sex
They've
together?
been together since 1997.
Exactly. So you might look at it with fresh eyes and think, but he's been looking at that for a long time.
I don't know though, because I've
been digging it out for a long
No, it's
time.
nothing to do with It's to this is my wife.
My wife. It's not even any
That's
random
all
girl.
said. Once you allow somebody to sleep, give the blessing to sleep with your partner. That means that you've disconnected from them in
I
a way.
agree. I agree. Yeah.
No, but then are they disconnected? Is he disconnected from her?
They are legally bound. They have a lot of money between them. They're not going to separate.
They could separate. They got enough between them to separate and be fine.
Yeah, but they don't want to do that. They chose not to.
It seems.
So that means there's got to be something that's because it's not a financial thing that's holding
it's not
them.
financially. Right. Looking at the relationship, they seem like very, very good friends.
Yes, they're best friends.
And it's almost like they've grown out of romantic love
But they
and into that, is it a gay love? Whatever type of love it is that, you know,
we don't know.
You're almost brethrens now, which I could never imagine, but boy, it is what it is, isn't it? Yeah? Me personally, I can never imagine going to the next guy and be like, yo, you have your blessing. I'd rather you did it and didn't tell. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You literally, you know everything
But
that's
it's
going
an
down.
open relationship, so they both know what's going on. That's like
He's like, not
Jada can, Will can say that to Jada, and Jada might be the one that's vetting the woman for Will. Be like,
True.
no.
True. We don't.
But then it kind of okay.
Go on. Because there's another issue for me. So I was thinking, maybe they stay together because of the kids. Then I realized the kids are we're not going to discuss the kids. We're not going to discuss the kids. Hold on. No, but I understand the family unit and being able to raise children.
Obviously,
right?
yes.
So I thought, okay, I understand that because, you know, I've got 3 boys. I wouldn't want to be in a scenario where I'm not raising the 3 boys full time. Like, I can't see them. It's a difficult situation to be in. I get it. But then at the same time, it's like, your kids are big. So you don't stay together because of the children anymore. Because even the youngest one is big now. And if you hear, is it Willow?
Willow, yeah.
If you hear her speak, she's beyond her years in maturity.
She's always been
so there's no issue with you guys telling her, you know what, we're living in separate houses now. She's not going to have an issue with it.
Yeah, but you've heard the saying, better the devil you know.
One devil you don't know, which is true.
But then the thing is how
Will's not gonna
August
beat her
took it, because August has sat there on TV pouring his heart out. So clearly
He was
being
in love.
manipulated. Something's happened to him.
There's a song by Faith. Go on, sorry.
No, I said he fell in love, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only thing that happened to him.
He slipped. He slipped and fell deep.
It's like, now she's not taking out no prisoners. It is what it is, isn't it? You got what you got. Enjoy it for the moment and move on.
He'll be fine.
You got gum on that, by the way.
I know, I'll put it there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just googled it quickly, but he actually does have an autoimmune disease.
What's he got?
It's a liver disease.
Okay.
And it's obviously when you have an autoimmune disease, your immune system attacks itself.
Yeah.
So if he's stressed out, his health definitely.
That's why my man looks unwell.
I feel so.
So that's why he looks unwell sometimes.
Yeah.
Nothing to do with Jada.
Probably.
No, I wasn't blaming it on Jay. What I was saying is when he was in the house, he just seemed to look way more healthy.
Maybe it's
Because
best for him.
he always looks unhealthy.
Okay, so good.
Maybe it's better for him to be in the house.
Okay, so here's the other issue. So if you want to go back to the grooming scenario, he basically says in the interview that they literally took him in. Like it's the first time he's ever felt. You think about his mum.
No, but
He has a mum issue. Yeah, because his mum he didn't live with his mum, which is a big issue for anybody. Yeah, I think his dad died. His dad might have died or something happened with his dad.
So he was searching for something.
Yeah, his brother died and his big brother was basically his dad. Yeah.
And it's the first time he felt love real like.
So this is the first time he
It's a
felt like
family
a family
unit,
environment.
but it's a weird family setup to say you.
Dodgy to me. I'm not gonna lie, that just sounds more dodgy.
That's what I'm saying.
that sounds like some. Yeah.
So what's the difference with that than joining a gang?
Hey,
Nothing.
come on. Hey.
No, nothing. You're right. Nothing. But join the gang.
Yeah, because they gave him that family.
Nothing. There's no difference. You feel some warmth. It's like, oh yeah, these man or these guys, they got me. Yeah, I get you.
You don't get plums in a gang. Let's be fair.
I get what?
Anyway. I don't know.
Yeah, there's an added level of complexity when you talk about Jada. Well, anyway, my point is, if this was the other way around, Will would be crucified for this in the media.
100%.
And this is a massive, massive, massive double standard. I'm not saying it's right for him to crucify or wrong. I'm just saying that he would be. People wouldn't be having.
Fam, I'm just bothered about the fact that he's okay with another man.
You can't even get past that. You're not even talking
I
about
can't
it.
get past that.
I don't think he was on his own.
I understand polygamy,
Yeah, of course you do.
but I don't
As a guy, you kind of get it. Like, it's like, okay.
Yeah, but I don't understand.
You don't understand.
I only understand polygamy in one direction.
Yeah.
Is it really?
Say what?
What's
going on as a guy? Go on.
I only understand polygamy in one direction, i.e.
when it benefits you.
No, it's not about when it benefits men.
No, like economical.
Let's get on to it.
Go on.
Go on then, mister.
I only understand polygamy. A woman can't simply marry more than one man.
Well,
there are cultures where
Why is that?
Why?
What culture is that?
where's that country?
There are some Southern Asian countries where they have like.
Fam, this is the Afro Perspective Podcast.
Yeah, in Africa we know how.
Okay, Afro.
This is the Afro Perspective Podcast, the home of over-opinionated young voices.
Okay, welcome back to the Afro Perspective Podcast. So, the topic in question is polygamy.
Let's discuss.
Okay,
You can leave.
you can leave.
No, you can leave because you're the one that said it. Right, there you go. Yeah.
Okay,
So it came off the back of the Jada Pinkett Will Smith scenario and not really being able to understand how that scenario really works. So but shoot them.
Polygamy.
Yeah.
I accept it, but I only accept it in one direction, i.e. a man can be in a polygamous relationship, but I don't think a woman can be in a polygamous relationship.
Alright,
Because
I don't think a woman can divide her emotions between...
she can divide her legs
Let
up.
finish.
Yeah.
Finish.
Her legs can divide. So.
Sexually, and more so... Oh, this is going in the wrong direction.
Finish your sentence.
No, finish it.
Yeah, I don't think a woman can divide her emotions.
So there'll always be one man that's...
And more so, the black family structure requires the man to be the head of the house. And how can a man be the head of the house when there's
more than
Same
one man?
man.
when there's more than one man?
That's the point.
Well, you know that
That's
like
a valid-
3 heads are better than one. 3 minds
No,
together, makes a powerful head.
I mean, all right. First of all, imagine the confusion that it creates where wealth distribution is concerned.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the woman,
money.
Let him finish.
all
Finish.
right. Every man, when every man thinks of his legacy, where marriage and family, etc., is concerned.
Facts.
So, if I have a child to you, my wealth is for my children, for you, me, and my children and my grandchildren, etc. Imagine a polygamous relationship where you've got one woman that's got 3 or 4 husbands, and she's having children too, all of them. Imagine the confusion that creates.
There's no confusion, just pass on your bank details.
No, but
We'll take it from all 3, and we'll share it. We'll share that shit out equally. There has to be no confusion.
yeah, but what man's gonna want?
One man is actually gonna do that.
Yeah, what man's gonna want? If all right, then
He's not gonna stand
you've got 3 husbands, right? One of them's a builder, one of them's a lawyer, and one of them's a DJ.
Yeah.
Right? They're all on 3 different tax
Wages,
brackets. Right? The guy on the highest tax bracket is not going to want to divide his wealth between
The other people.
the other guys.
Yeah, but it's not about what he wants, is it? It's about what's best for the family, which is obviously now the woman is the head, so she gets to decide. You give me the paycheck and let me deal
Yeah, but
with
that's
it.
not compatible in a
No,
black.
no. You won't allow that to happen because it's not. Remember when you're not used to that shit. You get me? And every time, carry on. Whenever y'all start talking about how things are supposed to be, you either go back to religion, or you go to animals. But for some reason, you decide what animals you want to copy or follow. You know what I mean?
What animals do they leave out?
Yo, right now, actually he's talking about the Black Widow, isn't he? You're the Black Widow, yo, I'm gonna take my mate and eat him.
You have penguins. Penguins choose one partner for life. Why don't you want to be a penguin? Yeah, right. You have cats. They get raped by about 5 men. You get me? And obviously they either have like babies to different cats, or the strongest sperm wins. Why can't we be cats? Why can't we be cats? Yeah. Why do we have to do it? Your way. Yeah,
okay,
lion.
So, all right. Here's another problem.
And you're not even lying.
Here's another problem.
Yeah, man, that's the thing.
Here's another problem with a polygamous relationship, which is where a female has multiple husbands. How do you cater to their sexual needs?
Can I just...
I personally would have a problem with joking.
I'm just going to say, logically as well, as a woman, you're pregnant for 9 months. It's not really something that you
that
can
takes
be
you out the
doing.
game.
Yeah,
Well, does it?
For like it...
No, it does. It does.
It does. It's the fact that we have to carry for so long. We couldn't move like a guy.
But do you know that a woman can carry more than one baby for different men?
Yeah.
But once the process has started, it's a wrap.
Hey,
It's alright.
9 months. Regardless.
So if you're 3 months in, you're not getting pregnant again. So that you have to sit out for that time. It's a timeout.
You don't have to. Some men like it if you're pregnant.
There is no such thing as a timeout for a man.
True. That's the point.
Yeah. Not only that, if you really look at things and you want to talk from a biological perspective, you're out here with your one egg for 28 days or however long it is. Yeah.
And then you got these men with their millions
Yeah, with the millions.
ready to
Every day. I'm out here
every day.
every day. Yeah. Right.
And only one of them.
Yeah, but hold, it doesn't make a
Earning
difference.
good.
So you need, my understanding of that, and I may be wrong, is that you need to pick the best possible person for that one. Because you got that one chance, and you need to make sure that chance is right. I'm a man. Let me finish. I'm a guy. Yeah, so I can go and see 12 different people, and if I land twice, I land twice.
You don't have to pick the best.
It's not an issue. I don't even need to pick the best one.
Just have to be
I've
one.
landed twice out of them 10 times. Yeah, so I'm already winning twice over. You have to be very protective over that one.
No, but then if you think about it like economically,
Okay.
like how are you going to feed all these people that you're reproducing?
Men are thinking
Okay, yeah. When you go to
this. Let's move on to this because that's
So the structure of polygamy is right. When we talk about polygamy, it goes back to like African culture. In the African culture, men that sustain polygamous relationships. For example, my granddad had 10 wives, but he had a big estate. He had loads of livestock.
He could afford it.
He could afford to feed, and more so, the way it was structured was they lived on one compound. So he had his house in the middle, and all of his wives had houses around. And
how are you gonna argue with that?
so there was a structure to it in the way that they raised their children.
Dad's in the middle.
Every mom was a mom to every child.
Yeah.
The moms got on.
Yeah. And then they normally have the periods at the same time, don't they? And
But
breast milk.
so for the man, my granddad had, I think it was about 52 or 54 children.
Is that all?
It's
10 wives.
It's a lot, out of 10 wives. Bearing in mind some might have died or whatsoever, but nevertheless, he could afford to feed all of his children.
You'll try that now. To a child support.
No, but here's the thing.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Here's the thing.
You can't do
If
it.
I was on a higher tax bracket, for argument's sake, I was earning, let's say, 200 grand a year,
Which not.
Even there.
right? I'd be in a position to
So would
Breed
you?
up.
Huh?
Would you?
Sorry.
That question was asked for training purposes only.
Sorry.
We're now going to move on.
So even though you can provide for them, food and etc., what about your time? You can't give them your time.
No, this is the thing.
I'm glad you raised this. Yeah, go on.
In terms of time, there's the structure. So
There's a schedule?
yeah, there's literally a schedule, and there's also a sort of hierarchy. The oldest wife.
Wife number one gets the mostest.
Sorry.
Currently, there should only be one wife and the rest girlfriends.
Yeah.
Oh, she said concubines.
No.
One wife.
Yeah, but
One wife.
there's always a main.
Program
There's always a main.
There's always
was the Nimbi tribe, and they were in Namibia.
Yeah.
And there was the man, and he had his wife, and then there was the girlfriend, and the wife and the girlfriend looked after each other. They had respect for each other, but the wife was the wife, and the others was the girlfriend.
That makes sense.
Yeah, but how?
Why the king?
That would make sense.
As a man, Sorry, I meant to cut you. As a man, how do you control that? Because supposing your wife is wifey, you get me, but girlfriend over there comes like you're proper. You know what I mean? And you like her, and you know your energies. You wanna click.
It's not polygamy.
So do you think he didn't enjoy sex and stuff?
No,
with all of that.
Here's the thing, right? When people talk about polygamy, the first thing that especially females in the Western society think about is sex. I don't want to share my man. It's not about that. It is more of a political and economic setup where, let's be realistic, right? You can get with one man, right? And you've got your jobs. Your income between the two of you is only limited to two people's income. Imagine now if you've got a system where raising the kids is concerned, just take yourself out of what you know as a woman and as a mom, right? Imagine if you could raise your kids in a way where there's other people that are in the same position as you, that your kids can call mom, that can discipline your kids, nurture your kids, educate your kids, etc., etc., and you're doing the same for them.
It's like a community.
So it's like a communion.
It's a community, but they can go to school to get education. Yeah, go on. What was the other ones?
No, they can go to school to education, but school you're not nurtured. Your children can only learn so much in school.
Yeah, I understand it's one big family. And
it's one big family. So how many women out there are suffering from postnatal depression, etc., etc., because it's just hard to manage.
Whereas if you could share that, it would relieve the pressure. If there was someone else, you could be like, let's.
But can you imagine, right? If you had to share your man.
Oh no, Shanice. Go on then. What are you saying, Shanice?
Oh, I said no. I feel like if I was in Africa and that's what I knew,
yeah,
it would be a problem for me. But I'm not even thinking about
Facts.
of the sex. I'm thinking about the emotional aspect of the type of person I am.
Yeah. That's fair.
Yeah,
And
but
the
your emotions
emotional is because of how we've been nurtured.
Your
So we're
emotions
nurtured
are
this way.
based on how you've been nurtured, and if you're and most of us, not in a bad way, have been nurtured according to Eurocentric. From a Eurocentric perspective.
So if I grew up feeling, knowing
you grew up watching Cinderella and all these films that had the. Do you know what I mean? And that's all you know, and you grew up being told that you're gonna marry one, and that is just
that's the thing. Wherever you are, that's what you know. So therefore, you're gonna grow up.
However,
ground.
It comes down to that whole European values are not necessarily compatible with African culture.
Facts.
Yep. So we live in a society where it's illegal. Polygamy is illegal in the UK.
But you know, if I had to share my man wouldn't mean shit to me, right?
No, but that's you're still talking emotionally. No, you're still speaking emotionally.
I can't help but speak emotionally because
forget the emotions, right? Say you've got a man, right? The type of man that you would accept to be in a polygamous relationship is not just any. No, it's not just any little man. It's a man where you know that this man is a provider. He has a good job.
That's all he is.
He's setting. No, he has a good job.
What else can he be? Because he's shagging everybody.
No, Ashina, come back.
That's all you are.
Let him land.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, let him land.
You're talking about this man. This is Zaddy. Right?
Carry on.
Now, come true, Charlene. Point of order, right? You're not just talking about any man. This man is a king because he is able to provide for more than one family. He is able to please more than one woman. He is the alpha. He is the alpha.
Hardly pleaser. Come on.
This is gonna burn me out. No, you get you're brave enough to not show brave. Okay, yeah, but I'll accept it.
I understand.
I'm Zimbabwean, right? And culturally, I come from a misogynistic society.
Yeah.
So,
well, even if I did, and I've got him, and everybody else has got him, he's no one special to me. He's literally just a provider. Get me? I don't care what he's doing.
Do you know what the issue is here?
Emotions? What?
No, the issue is here. The provider's role has been diminished in European culture.
Yes.
That's the real issue. So for example, if you come from a place, and this is no disrespect to any other country, but if you come from a place where it's not necessarily a given that you're gonna get provided for, that will go clear up in your priorities.
Yeah.
As you understand what I'm saying?
The women will accept it.
You understand what I'm saying? If you're a woman and you grow up in a country where there are no benefits, for example, because that in Europe there are benefits.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you grow up in a country where there's no benefits, so you know what? If you're gonna be more well off if you get with this guy and look after your family, he's going to look after your family, then you're going to put that at the top of the priority list. Rather than starving on the side of the road.
So therefore you have women that seek men that have got money, you get me, they have no emotional attachment, they're just there.
One doesn't necessarily mean the other, so it can.
It's their cultural norm though. If that's normal to you and that's your culture.
Yeah, that's your culture. But even in our culture you have women that gold diggers that you call them, that's what you call them. Yeah, because they want to provide for themselves, they don't give a shit about you. Yeah. If you ain't got no money and you're broke,
we're talking about we're talking about marriage. We're not just talking about
boyfriend, girlfriend.
And then we divorce you and take half, you get me? But
and what we were saying earlier as well about the ratio between men and women, it makes more sense that men can have multiple. Because
there's less.
There's less.
There are less.
And Islam allows it as well. You cannot have more than one wife.
It's only European places that don't allow this.
Yeah, but you see,
because so many men got murdered.
Yeah, but what is the actual reasoning behind why polygamy and bigamy is illegal in the UK?
What's the crime called? Love and passion of crime. Jealousy.
Crime of passion. Yeah, but what is the actual reasoning behind why polygamy is illegal?
I think it's probably to do with the church and religion and patriarchal societies and that. Yeah,
and
I
religion.
think it's to do with that.
Check it out.
Hold on.
There's something to do with Moses or
no, but I think it's Moses, to do with the fact.
Was it like I don't
so
remember.
let's just get this. Let's just get this straight. If they justify making polygamy illegal on religious grounds, then how do we live in a society that accepts homosexuality?
Well, that's a whole other conversation.
No. What he's saying is what he's basically saying is if you're gonna make a law out of polygamy saying it's wrong based on religion, then there should be another law on homosexuality and another law on anything else that the Bible says.
That the Bible says no.
Homosexuality is part of the agenda, whatever they're trying to push.
No, but what I'm saying is,
but I think those laws are old laws. So the law of not being able to have multiple wives is from probably the times when the Christian church run the country. We've got this idea of man and woman being married, and then this whole.
So is it a case of people are just not lobbying enough for
polygamy?
Do you know what? I actually do believe that over the next 20 or 30 years, relationships are going to change.
Especially with Will and Jada coming out.
In what way?
When there's more people out there.
I think that, and you guys can correct me, I feel that women are not in the same position they were beforehand. So it's society-wise, the behaviours deemed not acceptable for women are starting to change.
Let me finish. Become acceptable, you mean?
So again? They're becoming more and more acceptable. So we're going to be so liberal in the next, say, 10 or 20 years that relationships themselves, we might have, that people from the 60s...
It's already changed anyway with the whole flipping, what's the swipe left? Dating scene.
Tinder.
That's
Tinder. Which is another good point.
That's
another
brand
good
new.
point. So people have mentioned,
different.
and I see this on social media all the time, why did the grandparents stay together and, we can't keep together now? And it's like, well, things have changed.
Yes, so
we don't forgive each other.
No, I don't think it's that things have changed. Nothing's changed.
People have changed.
No, when I say things...
You think it's more coming to light now?
No, the parameters that allow for a successful family structure and a successful family relationship have never changed.
Okay.
They don't change. What's changed is our ways and our culture and the things that we accept and don't necessarily.
So people have changed.
Yeah. So people have changed, but things haven't. When I say things haven't changed, I mean in the sense of
what makes a successful.
What makes a successful relationship?
Yeah, that's a fact.
What makes it successful? In your opinion?
I think that's one of it. Is that?
That's what we're getting through the questions without asking the questions.
We'll get there.
Okay, yeah. So I wouldn't answer that quite yet, but in the sense of when we compare our grandparents' generation and our generation,
different.
What we simply did is lost the values that kept them together.
What do you think?
Yeah, there was.
Also took a lot of rubbish on.
Yeah, I was waiting for that.
Okay, yeah, and we're gonna discuss that.
What did she say?
Yeah, like they
Robbie.
did that kind of like pretend to not see certain things as well.
Pretend.
It's not pretending to not see certain things.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Granddad was
accepted
sexing your sister, and that's why your sister, your uncle and your uncle are brothers. And
No,
get me one bag of mix
sorry,
up, one bag of mix
I'm
up.
sorry, but she has a point. She has a point. Like, I've heard stories from people's families, and the granddad was doing exactly that. It's not only. I do feel that. I think there's two issues. There's two scenarios here. So one, women have become a lot more independent than they were.
Yeah.
So you think you're talking about
Women
time.
have a sense of
No,
independence.
let me finish. When the grandparents came over here, for example, so because obviously that's the only thing that I
Okay,
know.
yeah.
Women weren't even allowed to buy expensive things. Yeah, if they went to go and buy a fridge freezer, you'd have to get your husband to sign off on it.
Facts.
Yeah. So that's how
That's
far
changed.
women have come. Yeah. They weren't even.
How far?
Yeah, what I'm getting is that's how backwards it was. So the point was you couldn't even buy a microwave, not that they existed, but you get one. You could buy a stove. You know what I mean? You could buy a car.
Does your husband know about
Does
this?
your husband know about this?
Yeah.
That's a control thing.
Okay, but nevertheless, what I'm getting at is things have changed. Yeah. You also have the welfare scenario.
Welfare.
Yeah. Well, a woman doesn't.
No. This is okay. Yeah, I'll let you carry on. But
You're right, it's not.
no, I was just gonna add on to the
Go on,
point
go on.
that that has a lot to do with the British system,
Oh yeah, because it's the only one I know.
and or even much less how the Western system has used the welfare system
Yeah.
to destroy the black family.
Oh yeah, facts.
So I've heard stories that, this is actually girls that are on certain benefits. That the system has a way of making sure that the baby daddy doesn't
I'm gonna give you a better example.
stay
Let me give you an example.
there.
Let me give you an
Like
example.
there's a lot of girls who don't live with their
Yeah, man.
children's
Because of
fathers
the benefits.
Because-
Yeah.
because
They're
of
used.
benefits, right? That is
Let me give you-
deliberate.
Let me give you an example. Yeah. So when I went and got married, my wife was worse off than when we were at them. Do you know what? Do you understand what I mean? She was worse off after we got married than when we were
Yeah,
before.
yeah.
Whereas in
Which is
Jamaica,
crazy.
Whereas in Jamaica, if the woman, you know, like if you're in the army or whatever, you get married, you get loads of money.
Yeah. So they're not supporting that
They're
union
not
like
supporting
that.
families.
So there is that, but then I think on the other hand, women and maybe men as well were a lot more tolerant, and there were less distractions back then. So
Yes.
there was no Shanada messaging you know, whatever
Sending you
picture
pictures
at
that
3
you
o'clock
don't
in the morning. You know,
They
you
still
got-
kept up their
Yes, I know, but
foolishness.
let me tell you. But
It was
it's
hard.
harder.
Postman.
So if you got to walk to a phone box to
that's
call a
effort.
girl,
That's
and it's
effort.
raining outside, you ain't getting that phone call.
It
Like
is
I'm not
so
going
important.
outside to do
Yeah.
that. Yo, my phone is in my hand. Your wife is acting up, yeah, and you get this message.
go on Instagram.
Yeah. Or you're on Insta. It's like, damn, she looks
It's
nice.
a lot
Double
easier
tap. It's
to
too
do
easy.
foolishness now for both sides, not just men.
Yes. So
Women as well.
And some women are thirsty as well because I know some. Sorry. No, I want to say it because I know so. I know it's way off.
you sure there's not rum in that drink?
No, I know some women. Some men that do deliveries. And they said that when they go to women's houses, the woman's there in some little, you get me, and
Window open, yeah?
offering it.
Okay.
Yes, that's how bad it
Yeah, but
is.
who they're
So-
delivering to?
On the list.
It's a complete turn
Yeah, so I think it's really sad that y'all can't, you can't even look at your phones at night time.
They can look at the phones.
without
They just need to
without
choose.
girls sending pictures and.
crazy.
It's both ways, man.
It is both ways.
But nevertheless, I
Anyway,
think all of
why
those
women so
points
slack
add to
now?
why the family structure is probably
Yeah.
suffering. Because there's a lot of distractions. People probably aren't as tolerant as they were. Because women used to go through the most back in the day.
I think the family structure is also suffering because of inherited trauma.
Oh yeah. Break that down for me tonight.
Inherited trauma in.
When I say inherited trauma, I mean in the sense of when you look at the preceding generation, they didn't particularly.
Go on. Say it, I said man.
They didn't particularly have that family structure either. The black family structure has been broken for
Yeah,
generations.
that's-
Yeah, well,
But see, I can't
there's
I can't agree with that neither.
Because if you go back to grandparents,
There's some
my
Grandparents.
Yeah.
2020.
you talk about us and then our parents.
Yeah.
Okay, that's different.
That's
So
a
it's
fact.
been broken. It's been broken for generations. When you go back to our grandparents,
that's not that far back though.
it is far back.
How
We're
far
going
back
back to
is
the
it? Not that far
60s.
back.
That's about
It's not
50
that far.
years ago.
Anyway, carry on.
But it's
You're an old
generation.
My far is closer.
Oh yeah, well there's a difference. You're not.
But nevertheless, the black family structure was broken, right? And then it's been broken for. I wouldn't even say.
I can only speak from my.
It's been broken from slavery.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, the whole
So,
lynch thing.
yeah.
And if you're going to put the woman up front to be protector and defend, the woman then
Yes.
becomes the masculine role.
Yeah,
Yes.
so the reverse roles.
Yeah, so that's had an
the reverse
implication.
roles, how they've played. Let's just go back to our parents' generation, right? This doesn't speak for everybody, but a lot of women. If you look in the black community,
You said that quick,
Sorry,
I
actually, if I
me
look
too,
at you, it's because you're the nearest to me.
I would say there will be no violence on this show.
But yeah, when you look at our generation, right? The preceding generation, our parents' generation, you're dealing with that. The family values were broken
They dropped the
there,
ball.
right?
Yeah.
And you see when when they're broken there, now you've got moms that are raising
Children and boys.
children, right? Girls and boys. Which let's just touch on the whole single mom, single
Yeah.
parenting. So you've got single moms that are raising boys and girls. So from the boys' side,
All he knows
the
is
boy's
that-
looking at this strong
Woman.
Oh, female.
woman, right? He develops this very like if you look at like if there's one thing about the black community,
They
the
love
man
their
them
mums.
love their moms.
Yeah.
If you look in music, any genre,
They rarely sing about fathers.
they rarely sing about their dads, but you will have a million
mum songs.
thank you mama.
Yeah.
Africa.
If you go to a dance and you play your mama song, you get the biggest
Money
follow.
for every team.
Right? that is
Facts.
pretty much a byproduct of single
What's
parenthood.
happening.
So that's the boys. They've grown up.
Oh, sorry. Can we just talk about black dads being put in prison as well? Like, they're taking black dads away.
Oh yeah. So
we're talking about breaking up the family.
Oh yeah. So
we're
so
talking
the family
about
structure's been broken up by the welfare system,
Yeah.
prison,
the prison system,
school to pipeline.
school to pipeline. So you've got.
It's actually really sad when you think about
Yeah,
it.
it's like
It's
it's
sad.
No,
That
because
is
you're,
sad.
you're almost you
Set up
are
to
set
fail.
up to fail because if you think that a black male, for example, like especially my parents' generation, because that's when it really hit really hard. Like a lot of my uncles, they didn't even finish school. You know, and then the likelihood of you, they say that if you don't finish school, you're 9 times more likely to go to jail. So you 9 times. That is the statistic. You are 9 times more likely to go to jail if you don't finish school. And they didn't finish school because they were getting racism and all of the other stuff at school.
Yeah.
So it's like you've almost set these guys up.
Sorry, so why are you more likely to go to jail if you don't?
I don't know what the reason is. I'm just saying they looked at what they did. They looked at the people that have gone to jail, they looked at their education record, and they've realised they haven't finished school. So that you can literally.
Do you know
determine.
that people that tend to not finish school, especially like black kids, it's because they don't want to follow this system. They've got the mind's more.
I agree.
You know,
Okay.
they're more creative. What you're doing, what you're talking about is
yeah,
boring,
yeah.
etc.
I
And
agree.
most entrepreneurs have either been to jail or
Yeah.
nearly been to jail.
Doesn't but that detracts from what we're talking about. We're talking about
Yeah,
if you're
but
in jail,
That's a
you
small
cannot raise your
percentage.
child.
Yeah.
No, you can't.
Yeah, and that's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Yeah, so yes, I get what you're saying, and I don't disagree
And
with what you're
if
saying.
this-
But if you're in jail, you can't raise your child. So if you're more likely to go to jail because you haven't finished school, and then you end up in some sort of foolishness, but you got a kid on the road already, you are not then looking after that child while you are in jail. And it's that
And you're
simple.
more likely to go
Yeah.
to jail if you're a black man.
Yes,
And you
exactly.
tried for a
And that's
longer
kind of what I'm
period of
getting
time.
at.
So
Yeah.
Okay,
take-
so
And then you have your workless man that walk away from the kids anyway.
Yeah.
And then you have your baby mother who says, "You're not seeing the child because no, then kind
okay,
of
so
fuckery there as well. You know?
we're still talking about the man. Then we're gonna get to the man.
Okay, sorry.
So you've got man that has been raised in a household where the head of the house is a woman,
And
So
That's most households, by the way.
Yeah. And so this is in his perceptive development age. So he's got a very good relationship with his mom.
doesn't really have
He's
a male.
learned, doesn't have a consistent, at least a consistent male figure
Sorry.
Yeah.
that can show him how to be a male,
Yeah,
how
can-
to navigate
Can
situations
we
a
at least
male.
say so there is a difference between you having an uncle that comes around and looks after you and actually having a male in the home. They are two
In the home, yeah, it's two different things. Or right, so there's no male to show him how to be a man, how to speak like a man, act like a man, etc. And most of his ideals are based on
What he sees
mom
and aunties.
and aunties. So let's go to the woman now. She's been raised by a woman that's taught her to be independent, hence why most black women in your age group drive a nice car, have a decent home, have decent credit. I don't even
Lost
wanna
your
say
train
what I
of
was- no, I didn't lose my train. of thought.
Say it. Don't hold back.
But are not married
Yes.
or struggle.
He said not married.
Not married.
Yeah,
Okay.
not married or struggle to maintain
Not married.
a relationship, right? When you look in other communities, girls by the time they're 25 to 28, they're married.
Yeah.
In our community, majority of girls between 35 to 40
That's the
are
age
still
now.
not married.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not married. That's right.
And this is not no disrespect. They're like, this-
No, but you talk about my age group and everything that he said was like,
This is not shots.
everything that he said
Okay.
like was kind of correct. You get me?
It's
Nice
not- yeah,
car,
these are
nice
not-
house,
These are not
whatever.
shots. These are just.
I know. But he literally said everything. You know what I mean? Nice car, nice house, not married.
You heard me say earlier before we started. I said I've got lots of female friends and none of them are married.
And
Now,
then
most- hold on, hold on.
Can I just say that I've got 4 engagement rings?
That's 4. Well, yeah, that's still not married, actually. Though.
Yeah, but why is that? Yeah, but why is that? Why haven't I? What?
We'll get
Okay.
to that, but he's right when he says that because I have a lot of female friends, a lot of black female friends, and they're doing very well in life, very well.
And a lot of men would snap them up quick.
Well, you would
if
think
they-
so, yeah, there is a disconnect.
there's a disconnect, and this
I'll
is the
leave you
reason
back to your
why.
point now,
Right.
Yeah.
So you've got these females that are financially stable, but if you've been raised in a single parent environment as a female, right, you haven't actively seen
a healthy relationship.
a healthy relationship. When I say single parent, I mean in the sense of if your mom gets married and then
Look at you jumping around this subject. Basically, if you've not been in a household where you've seen a relationship day in day out, you may not.
You don't know what you're
necessarily-
looking for.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah. Potential. And I'm not saying that is true, but I kind of.
it's not necessarily what you're looking for, but more so.
You don't
And
have
Or even the
There isn't a blueprint.
or even the nuances
let's-
of a man and a woman in a household.
In a
together.
household.
You have no idea. As
What
much
has-
as
Oh, you might
you're
have an
only-
idea, but was just a thought of having it for life. You get me? Because like,
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, for life.
No, but that's the thing. That's because you're not used to it. man.
Okay, if you speak to my wife, there was no day on this earth where she thought that she was not going to get married. Yeah, and it is for life. He told me, yo, this is for life.
It is for
My
life.
parents are married and they're together today.
And they're still together. My
And
parents
some
are
people
married and
gonna
they're
get
still
However,
together today.
if you was told that you have to, if you was told you have to choose a career and this is you're going to be your career until you die,
That's the way you
you're going to start thinking about things a little bit more deeper
What
before
did you say?
before
Sorry,
you
I didn't
decide.
hear you.
Okay, Charlie, are your parents?
My parents were 75 and I've got old parents and they're married, yes. My grandparents are married, everybody's married. But
My parents
I'm the only
were
one that's
when I
not
was
married.
So you're the one?
I'm the only one that's not
So have you
married.
got sisters?
You're talking to the mic, please.
Hold on, have you got sisters?
2 sisters.
And they're married?
Everybody, just me. Just
Okay.
Zoe, that's special.
Okay. No, but that's what I'm saying. This is not a disrespecting.
No, I know.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is like if I'm gonna get married for life, because
Why?
because I don't believe believe in this divorce crap. You get me? So if I choose my partner, me and him are together forever.
Okay.
So I have to make sure I choose him wisely.
Okay, that's as you should.
Yes.
You're meant to be picky.
However,
What's your point?
if I thought to myself, I'm kind of going to get divorced in a couple of years if I don't like him, then
No,
I'd
but you
have been married.
digress.
I'd have been married 3 times already.
That's not what we're talking about.
Yeah, I know.
Alright, can we hear from Shanice, please?
Yes,
Go ahead,
please.
What do you want to hear from?
He lost it, dude.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Go on.
Yeah, like my parents aren't married. My mum pretty much raised, us, majority of it on her own, and I want to get married, even though I haven't seen marriage. Actually, I've seen marriage in my house. But what I'm talking about? So my mum got married to my smallest brother's dad. But there's been times I wanted to get married, but I just feel like sometimes us women do know what we want, but then sometimes the guys that we fall for and we want to be with, they give up. So it's like, as much as there's a lot of girls that are single at this age, there are guys that we thought were going to marry, but it doesn't happen.
Okay.
I agree.
Does that,
We do want to get married.
Okay.
question number 1 that we had on the agenda,
Go on.
does that relate to a women's expectations unrealistic?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's
Not even unrealistic.
Let's have the debate.
But-
I'm actually more on women's side when it comes to this. I generally
Not a
feel,
long list.
Hold on.
Men's lists are like this.
well, yeah, but that's men and women across the board. Talking about black people, I generally feel that some of my male counterparts we're just not
Don't
doing
cut
it.
it.
We're not doing enough.
It's facts.
As a guy, I say my
When you
checklist.
say you're not doing enough, what do you mean?
I mean that in order for a woman, and I hope no one takes this, to be able to submit in the family household scenario,
Yeah.
you're gonna want a guy.
That's
Correct me if I'm wrong. Is a stand-up type of guy
Yeah.
who's going somewhere with some sort of direction, and he's going to raise your family, and you're gonna feel comfortable in that scenario. And I don't think there are enough guys that are actually able to do that.
I think.
Hold on, let me finish.
Okay.
Right, there's another scenario, and the other scenario is that because of the level of independence that black females have been told to have, they're almost unable to submit.
access- yeah.
And that becomes a problem because you then have two bulls in one household,
clashing and it
you
don't
are then
work.
clashing.
Okay. Every male is able and capable of being that guy.
Okay,
Every male.
I agree.
No one said.
No, they're not
they were
capable.
incapable.
Let him finish. Let him land.
Every
Go.
male is able and capable of being that guy, of being the alpha male.
Let him land. Go.
However, I believe now it's a nurture and nature thing.
I agree.
And when I say it's a nurture and nature thing, and I'm not trying to put it on the females, but
You are just about to put it on the girl. Right?
yeah, I'm about to put it on the girl. I'm about to put it on the girl then, right?
on.
And for the reason that a guy knows the kind of girl
He wants.
that he idealizes based on how he's been brought up, but more so based on society's standards. And
Okay. Go on. Let him finish.
Different-
Let him finish. Go on.
You're the
different.
one that's not letting man finish. You know, let him finish. Let him finish. We are.
A guy knows the girl that he will be the ideal guy for.
Okay.
Come again.
Now, when we look back at females, there's certain girls, if you've never grown up seeing your mum being a wifey and presenting wifey qualities to a man,
Right.
unless if she taught you or whatsoever, what do you know about?
Look at Ashina's face.
I'm just listening.
Okay, yeah, right. The point that I'm trying to make is, right, every guy is capable of being that guy. But guys are very selective.
That's what I
and
was
more
about to
so.
say.
Well,
If
not really.
guys are selective, and when I say they're selective, it's not based on looks.
We are selective.
Like looks
They're
looks
selective
are
in who they choose to settle for.
Yes.
just
Right.
settle
With,
for.
not
Yeah.
for, with.
Yeah.
With.
Yeah.
When it comes to sex, it's like
different.
Anybody
it's-
can cut the-
yeah,
Okay,
yeah, you get me a whole.
When it comes, if he's talking about getting married to you, it's
That's a whole
when it comes to getting married,
yeah,
right?
he selected you.
Yeah,
Don't get it
and
twisted.
this is where you see the power of the PU,
Yeah.
right? it only goes so far.
It ain't that strong.
Yeah.
The value is so low.
Like it after so long, after you get that first
Sliding.
sliding, that power depreciates. And I'm not trying to devalue women by saying this. I'm just saying in
The value of it.
in the sense of
You
leverage.
felt it now, you know what it feels like.
Yeah. So in the sense of So in the sense of
now it's the
leverage.
rest
So
of it.
now that you've
What else
given
have
me,
you
Campaign's over, you won the election.
what else? Why should I take you to my mom's house?
Yeah, okay, there you go.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Why not dad?
No. So that's
See, that's the
no,
dad's
it's
the more accepted.
Yeah.
Yes, but it's gonna be the mom.
No, it's gonna be his mum because
I need to be able
tradition.
to put you in front of my mum. She's going to judge you, and you need to come up with
Exactly, you've got to come correct. So if I take you to my mum's house, right? Naturally, I'm not even saying naturally, and I don't. But if I take you to my mum's house and you end up in the kitchen with my mum, are you gonna embarrass me or are you gonna impress my mum? And if you can't impress my mum, then she doesn't see you as somebody
should be with her son.
that should be with her son because my mum has that attachment to her son. She wants to know that
He's taking care of with
up
her.
until now, if I go to my mum's house, she nurtures me in a certain way as her son. She cooks for me. She did
Yes,
you know that.
I understand.
Trust.
This is the Afro Perspective Podcast, the home of over-opinionated young voices.